pageantry, and for this episode, we will finally get to talk about Binibining Pilipinas, some good news, some bad news, and rumors in between. So please make sure you stick around. Please subscribe to the channel as well as hit that bell notification button for your weekly pageant fix. First of all, I'm so sorry for the background noises. I usually shoot my YouTube contents around late in the evening or very early in the morning where everybody is asleep. But I'm trying to hustle because I want to edit this as early as I could so that I could publish this video, because I really waited up until all of the announcements were in place before I did this video for you. So I think you already know where I'm heading. But before that, let's move on to some good news first. Please go ahead and watch this very short video, because this video is not only short, it's meaningful. It's something that we've been waiting for almost a year.
Good day, Binibining fans!
How was that for you? Were you as excited as we were when we reposted that video? Because of all the feels, it showed images of Araneta, images that we have been so familiar with these past few years, as well as that very familiar voice. So the good thing about the teaser video is that it pretty much announced that they will be resuming activities this year. So hooray for some movement in Cubao. Now, this was further strengthened by a statement by none other than Binibining Pilipinas matriarch herself, Madam Stella Araneta, who mentioned that the finals will take place this coming April 17th. Now, if all goes well, then it is a go for April 17th for all of us backbacks and women backbacks, if that even makes sense. But the thing that I want you guys to know is that we have no idea if they will go with a very Miss Earth type of production wherein everything is virtual, or if they will have the finals that is more similar to Miss Universe Philippines with a contained number of people, because they don't have a problem with the venue anyway. So we might see a combination of both, because when I asked Sir Jason about some of the activities that are lined up for Binibining Pilipinas, he did mention that it will be a mix of live activities as well as virtual activities. So if the activity on discussing the national costume with Patch Magtanong, Emma Tiglao, Voltaire Tayag of Rapper, as well as, Sir Jason Cappuccino of Sashes and Script, if that is any indicator of the activities that are lined up for us, then it pretty much means that, some segments might go virtual, but then the finals might be a live finals. I'm just not sure if they will allow live audiences. But I do hope that they allow live audiences by April so that, we could see each other, we could have that photo taken, and we could look all glam in Cubao. But then again, I also know that right after the announcement, there were a number of questions as well as rumors that surfaced. So I'm going to try to address them for you. So let's start first with, Tita, will we have the complete number of 40 girls participating at Binibining Pilipinas? And the answer to this question is absolutely not. The reason being is that Binibini number 2, Rowee Lucero, as we all know, competed at Miss Globe in November of last year and finished 4th runner-up. Now, the thing is, the decision to compete at Miss Globe first got to Binibining Pilipinas, but Binibining Pilipinas declined due to health as well as safety reasons. So they declined in sending a representative, even if technically we had Samantha Bernardo who could fill the position. We even have Abesamis who could fill the position. But since Binibini declined because they didn't want any responsibilities, what Miss Globe did was that they contacted Kagandahan Flores or KF, and with Sir Rochelle, they looked for a candidate, or they looked for someone from KF who could fill the post. Now, this someone had to be, of course, physically ready. This someone had to have the papers as well as the financial capability, because I suppose one of the reasons of Binibining Pilipinas was because they also didn't want to, release funds for a girl to compete internationally. So the thing with the Miss Globe arrangement with KF is that they needed someone who could, pay for all of the expenses going to Albania. And at that time, Rowee was available. So according to an article on Manila Bulletin during Rowee's homecoming celebration. She was asked about it because Binibining Pilipinas eventually disqualified her from competing at Binibining Pilipinas for this year. And it made total sense because Rowee asked for permission, apparently, from Binibining Pilipinas, which was not granted. So Rowee took it upon herself to just decide on going for a representation at Miss Globe because that meant earning a Philippine sash without going through the pageant, and that really meant that she doesn't have to go through that long period of competing with the other girls and not knowing if she will be granted with a title anyway, so might as well grab the opportunity. So is this a good move for Rowee? I think on a personal note, yes, it is a good move for Rowee because if the goal is to become a binibini and always be a binibini as well as, you know, earn a Philippine sash and then eventually get that fourth runner-up position, then yeah, it's a win for her actually. But yeah, the consequence is that she has now been removed from the roster. Now, another thing, a lot of the ladies are not that active on social media, so I really can't tell whether it's still a go for them because a lot of the ladies are either in the provinces who have no access to, you know, fast internet, who are not really so active anyway, and some of the ladies are also abroad, so I'm not sure if they're even gonna make it for the activities in the Philippines or if they will even be allowed to come back to the Philippines. So we'll see about that. But Binibining Pilipinas, with their announcement, of course, they're gonna give the ladies some time for everyone to converge back in Manila. Next, Gila Salvador, because a lot of people DM'd us, a lot of people asked us why she wasn't part of the discussion of the national costume, and this was because Gila was not photographed. Now, I'm just not sure what the circumstances were. I'm also not sure if they even attempted to reshoot her, but she has not given any statements regarding her candidacy, and her name is still on the list. Now let's go ahead and discuss the persistent rumors involving the acquisition of Binibining Pilipinas with Miss Earth Philippines. Now, again, these are just rumors, but we did discuss this through a blind item as early as last year. Now, the thing was, if I may offer a little bit of an explanation for you, it seemed that around the time that Miss Universe Philippines opened their applications for the ladies, as well as Binibining Pilipinas opening their applications for the ladies, Miss Earth Philippines also opened their applications for the ladies, but could not fill the post because a lot of the ladies were either torn between Binibining Pilipinas and Miss Universe Philippines. So I suppose Madame Lorraine jokingly remarked that, you know, we couldn't fill the post, might as well give the franchise to Binibining Pilipinas. So I don't know who overheard this, but somehow that statement was taken out of context and it was blown out of proportion that it became an actual rumor. But because the rumor is just so inviting, because it seemed like a really good idea anyway, I suppose the rumor latched on and continued to persist, and now that Binibining Pilipinas is resuming its activities, talks on new acquisitions are also resuming. But I guess on a business point of view, it may not be lucrative to acquire a franchise at this time because a lot of these franchises, of course, will involve large franchise fees, and maybe Binibining Pilipinas is not even considering losing money over acquisition of a new franchise. But then again, I'm also not sure if they are shopping around because when I asked some of the insiders if they are shopping around for new titles, particularly Miss Earth Philippines, they said no comment. And usually when you say no comment, it means something. It's just that they're not in the liberty to say anything. So let's see if these rumors are true. It's just that I feel that it's a little far-fetched because at one time there was a rift between Binibining Pilipinas and Miss Earth Philippines. I think it even got to a point that they were already suing each other. I'm just not so sure about the details because I'm really, really rusty with the details. But the thing was, it's not supposed to happen, but it seems like a really good partnership. I personally feel that it's a really good idea. I just don't know if this is feasible. Yeah, so now we move on to the two things that you're actually really waiting for. So I'm gonna start first with Aya Abesamis because, guys, it's really time for Aya to be dispatched internationally. It's just that the thing with Aya is that we have a problem with age limit. Aya is already 29. And if this is a go-ahead with Nawat in accepting Aya, who is 29 years old, then it's a win-win situation for that. But the problem is, Binibining Pilipinas, as per the last interview with Sir Hines, with Adam Hinato, really did mention that this is a no-go for Aya because they don't want to be responsible. Aya's team, for these past few weeks, they have been releasing super beautiful photos. Photos that will make you say, we should have sent her a long time ago. But these photos are not to tease you, they're not to mislead you or misdirect you. It's just that these photos were done specifically for the purpose of Miss Grand International. So just in case there is a go signal for Aya to be sent to Thailand, because apparently this is going to be the venue for the finals this coming March. These are the materials that they supposedly would be presenting to us via social media. So these are the photos that we get to see whenever our girls compete internationally. We have like the daily updates or the daily pasabog. So since there is no definite date or there is no definite answer on whether Aya will be allowed to compete, the team decided to release these photos gradually. So they were released in batches. The thing with Aya also is that we have two very important sources. The problem is that these two sources are telling us two different things. Source number one is really very legit, but source number one is telling me that Aya is already a go for Miss Grand International. They are just waiting for formalities. However, source number two, who is also close to Aya, and is someone that we really believe when it comes to talks about Aya, she is now saying that it is a no-go because Binibining Pilipinas has not given their approval. So, you know, I have two really strong sources telling me two different things. So I think what we really have to wait for is this. The deadline of submissions for the application at MGI was last December 31st. So definitely we missed that. And the pageant will take place this coming March. So technically, Aya still has February just in case some miracle happens, just in case somebody, you know, whispers, go ahead, give Aya an approval, then Aya is ready for that. Just to make it clear, there is no definite directive for Aya to represent us at Miss Grand International. Are we clear on that? But of course, as soon as we have a decision from Binibining Pilipinas, well, I will definitely update you. Now, here comes the bad news, because I think we were all whiplashed by this news that was announced yesterday via a virtual interview between Missosology and BINT, Miss International 2019. Now, what happened in that conversation? I will play the video because this video is clear. I think it's no longer open to interpretation, so go ahead and check it out.
Girl has to be 18 years old by the time she arrives in the host country and should be 28 years old by the pageant night, which will be in November. And considering the fact that we still don't know what's going to happen in the next few months, and there might, who knows, you know, it might be moved again or it might be postponed. Hopefully not. I'm knocking on wood. It's still the same. It hasn't changed. It's 18 to 28 years old. It's pretty much the same as most international pageants out there. I think our national directors know about that as well.
Yeah.
So, just to clarify, if a girl is turning 29 before the pageant night, she's no longer allowed to compete in Miss International.
Right now, based on the contract that we have sent and those who have already signed up and paid for the franchise, that's the understanding. Yeah.
Okay.
But
so
yesterday, we were saddened by the news that Vickie Rushton will no longer be eligible to compete at Miss International should she win the Binibining Pilipinas Miss International crown. The thing is that in less than 5 years, Miss International raised the age limit twice. They first raised it to 27 around the time that Vickie was no longer eligible to compete. And then later on, they raised it to 28, which gave Vickie more of a push to pursue her Binibining Pilipinas dream for the third time. So between February up until June, yeah, we were super happy that, you know, Vickie would have an opportunity to represent the Philippines, just in case she wins, because I think everybody has been polite around Vickie. It seems that without even winning the actual finals, it seems that she already is a shoo-in for that Miss International crown. But in June, through Stephen Diaz of Miss International, who's also an affiliate of Missosology, Stephen did mention that even if the ladies who are 28 by 2020, even if they turn 29 by 2021, they will still be eligible to compete at Miss International for November because it isn't their fault because it's the pandemic. So, this really livened up the energies of everyone supporting Vickie. And for a while, Vickie has been producing and has been, changing her looks, changing her styling to fit the aesthetics of Miss International. And I also noticed the treatment of the other ladies whenever they are asked which crown they would want. They're usually very reserved in giving their answers, and most of them are in agreement that the crown is reserved for Vickie. But of course, nothing is final. Now, the thing is, last night, they made an announcement saying that Miss International made this decision because it would not be fair for the other ladies because we don't know what this pandemic will do to us months down the line. By November, it might even be postponed again because, as we all know, even the Olympics is already postponed. And since, if I may share, my mother lives in Tokyo, and I do know that as early as now, Tokyo is in lockdown because of that second strain. So if we factor in the safety issues, if Miss International pushes the age limit up until 29 or even 30, it might not even be fair for the other ladies who started as young as 18. So they made the crucial decision to just stick with the original age limit between 18 to 28. So I think the explanation of Stephen is clear enough. What does this mean for Vickie? Definitely, this is not good news for Vickie because we don't have a lot of crowns for Binibining Pilipinas anymore, and with her age, she is only eligible for Miss Globe. And I don't think that is a prestigious enough crown for a lot of the fans for Vickie. So I'm also in the dark as to what Vickie will decide on. Do I think this is fair? Well, in a way, it is not fair because they already mentioned that they will be allowing the 29-year-olds to compete in 2021 back in June. But I also understand where they're coming from because, like I mentioned, Miss Earth, Miss Universe, Miss International, these are also business entities. So I picked up on a tip that the national director of Miss International did not want to stretch out the age limit any further because there are sponsors and there are business relationships involved. It would be a little difficult for them to partner a lot with these establishments, usually for tourism and beauty, if they're talking about ladies who are maybe a little advanced in age in terms of beauty pageantry. I don't know if I'm saying this clear enough for you. It's just that these business organizations that Miss International partnered with, they have rules, of course, they have preferences, of course, and if it means not ruffling feathers when it comes to the business relations and sticking with an age limit, then I suppose the national director decided to choose sticking with the age limit instead of, having some rifts with the sponsors or the business relationships because of maybe a year or two. Guys, you have to understand this is a purely aesthetic and a purely visual type of partnership. So a lot of you will argue, but Tita, Vickie looks so fresh. She looks even younger than a 20-year-old or maybe an 18-year-old. But I get you. It's just that on paper, Vickie really is already 29, and maybe that's already too much for a business entity like Miss International. And we also have to understand, guys, that we shouldn't let our emotions dictate the way we behave on social media when it comes to this issue with Vickie Rushton, because technically that crown is not on her head yet. She has not won Binibining Pilipinas, and she is not an automatic winner for Miss International. She is not an automatic number 7 for us. She fits the bill. She looks the part. Yes, I get this, but there is... And I also get the frustration, I also get the sadness, but there is no room, supposedly, for us to beg Miss International to make these changes or to even be hostile to Miss International, because if we look at the big picture, they have been very generous with us. They raised the age limit to 27. Now, if that did not fit Vickie, they raised it to 28. But unfortunately, that was as far as they could go. So hopefully we can move for this, and then maybe we can start accepting that that Miss International crown or that title is not really meant for Vickie. It's going to be very, very hard, and I know as early as now, a lot of the admins are already posting photos of, newer girls to look into, putting like a big X on Vickie's face. I think this is in bad taste, if I'm being very honest, because I know that a lot of people are rooting for Vickie, and I do know also from our conversations sporadically that Vickie is invested in the Miss International crown. In fact, she overhauled her styling from 2019 to make sure that she fits the bill at Miss International. So whatever it is that she decides on, we just really have to support her, because she really did put her life on hold for a bid at Miss International. So it's really sad, but I'm also trying not to get too carried away with this, because it is what it is. I'm also trying to be very understanding, because if I start getting really hostile, then a lot of you guys will start getting hostile as well, and we don't want that. So there you go. Of course, I will be giving you the updates. I will be very thorough with the updates, because there's nothing left to do anyway. But before I end this video, I have something very, very important that I would like to raise with you. I think I have done so twice on our YouTube community page, but I am asking you guys to please help me report this Indonesian troll page who eventually created his own YouTube video. Now, that's fine with me. If they want, of course, to create YouTube videos, that's fine, because, that's part of their privileges. It's just that the issue is I am asking your help for reporting this page or this channel. It's called Call Me Mae. It was established by an Indonesian troll, an Indonesian bully. And this person has been using my face in his thumbnails and my contents or clips from my videos so that he could chop it off and create contents on his own. Now, a lot of you will say, Tita, just ignore them, don't give them any attention because that's gonna give them views. Yeah, I get you with that. It's just that if this channel starts monetizing, then it would be unfair for me because they are using my likeness. And one of the biggest reasons why I am asking for your help, trolls, they have asked their followers to collectively report this channel. So just in case this channel disappears, then you know the reason. Unfortunately, I don't have anything in place to protect this channel. The only thing that I'm really holding on to is that I never discussed anything derogatory against the Indonesians or the Indonesian representatives at the Tita Lavinia channel. Now, I'm not super clean when it comes to my relationships with the Indonesians because I am actually the last go-to person when things go really, really rough on social media. They turn to me, and what I do is I do some shady things and I do some shady posts, but I am very careful, at least in my retaliation, not to touch on very sensitive issues like sexuality, religion, or anything that would really, really be below the belt. Unfortunately, because a lot of these trolls are very young, a lot of them are not really savvy when it comes to things that shouldn't be discussed, or because even my personal life is already published in one of their videos. Even my relationships, my life decision. So I just don't think that this is fair. So if you're gonna tell me, Tita, just ignore this, I'm not gonna ignore this because there are options in place to report them and options in place to protect myself and maybe protect you guys as well. So might as well take that option. So if you could help me with that. Again, the name of the channel is Call Me Mae. You don't even have to watch it if you don't want to contribute to the views, but just please help me report it. I don't know if YouTube and Google will start counting the number of reports, but yeah, I'm just holding on to the fact that I never really said anything nasty about them. I never even discussed them or included them in any of my reviews. So there you go, guys. I hope that the information that I shared will be enough for you to take you to at least another few weeks up until the next Binibining Pilipinas ganaps and hanash. Thank you so much, guys. Goodbye.